Now, in order to colorize this image, so we're trying to emulate the historical tradition of hand tinting. So we've done our research. We know what it tends to look like. The colors are very sort of washed out, very subtly applied, semi-transparent, and we're going to try and recreate that same look and feel here. I'm going to show you two methods. One is going to be using a selection method, so I'm just going to use my quick selection tool for this. It's right here. It's my quick selection tool, and I'm just going to make the brush size a bit bigger for now, and then just quickly select the hat area. Do it like that. Oops, that's not going so well. Remember, Option key to subtract an area. Just like that. Okay, so I could use the quick selection method. It seems to be making it rather jagged. So I'm just going to Command D. Use my trusty lasso tool. I'm going to give it a feather of about 4 pixels. Just so it's got a soft edge, because the photographic edge is also soft, slightly blurred. So I'm just going to start in here, a little zoom in. Remember, when you're selecting, just do small sections at a time. And to add to a selection, you can select this icon up here, add to selection, subtract and intersect, or we can use the keyboard shortcuts. Shift key to add, and that adds to the selection. And I've selected too much here. Option key to remove. Shift key to add. I just find doing it by hand, it's so much more rewarding and soothing, and you have more control over that process. And again, Shift key. I'm just doing a little bit at a time. Shift key adds. Option key subtracts. Shift key adds. So I got a little bit of feathering on there, which is going to be nice. And now I'm going to apply a layer adjustment. Layer, new adjustment layer, and I want to use hue and saturation, but notice that it's grayed out. Now the reason for that is, if I go to image and look at its mode, you'll notice that it's a grayscale image. So I can't colorize this image because it's grayscale. I need to convert its image mode to the RGB color space. When it merges, when it converts, it wants to know if you want to merge the layers. Just say no, don't merge. That preserves the layer structure. Now I can use layer, new adjustment layer, hue and saturation. I click OK. You'll notice that it's given me a color adjustment of hue and saturation, but it's created a mask based on that selection I created. So it's an adjustment, but with a mask. So that's a layer adjustment. And it's going to isolate the adjustment to this area only. But I don't want it going on this photo at the bottom either. So in order to isolate this adjustment to this image only, I need to hold the Option key down and click in this area between the two layers. And notice that it indents it, and this indicates that this adjustment will be confined to this white area. Whatever color change is created, it's only going to be in this area. The black will stop it from happening to the rest of the image. And this little arrow says it's only going to happen on this image, not on this one as well. So that was using the Option key. The Option key again would disconnect those two and apply it to the entire layer structure. Option isolates it. Notice the little underline there indicating these things are linked together. Now, I'm going to make the color adjustment. Notice no color change. I need to select Colorize. And there I have it. I can choose a hue. That looks like the roof of Cash Cab now. So I choose the hue, and then I choose the level of saturation. Too much saturation. To be historically true, the colors always seem rather frail, washed out, very, very subtle. We don't have vibrancy like that. So I think that's representative of my red. I'm happy with that. And I would go on to colorize possibly the eyes, the fringe of the collar here, maybe the smock here is red. Again, I would be using my cultural and historical research in fashions for children in China circa turn of the century in the 1900s. So, once it's all done, I'm assuming this is done now, we want to create a layout. We've already got the before image and the after image, so I'm just going to make the canvas a little bit larger. Let me show you what that means. If I go to Image, and then go to Canvas Size, I'm not increasing the size of the image, I'm really increasing the size of the backdrop. And this tells me, I'm just going to put this to inches, how the extra sizing is going to be added to the image. I want it to be added up and down. Actually, I just want to be added down the way and to the right and down to the right. I'm going to increase the width to 15 inches, and I'm going to increase the height to 11. I click OK. You can see that it's added in all that extra real estate for me. Now for the time being, I'm going to create a new layer. I'm just going to drag this right down to the bottom, and then I'm just going to fill it with the foreground color. Remember, the shortcut is Option Delete. The foreground color, as you can see, is black. If I wanted this filled in white, I would do the opposite. I guess I could have just used this layer right here. Anyway, that said, I'll just delete that layer for now and select that bottom layer, Option Delete. It gets filled in black. Now, I want to move this over. Uh-oh. Wait a second. The colorization didn't move with it. Command Z. I need to make sure both of these things are selected. And I could say group. And then in which case, oh, they still don't move. Sorry. What I meant to do was make sure those two things were selected simultaneously. So just use the Shift key or the Command key. Now I can move them over there. So we have the before image and we have the after image. This before image, I'm just going to select it, then Command T. I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller. So both of these things are the same height. It just tidies it up a little bit so I have a nice layout. Control click on here and double click that, by the way, so it finishes the scaling transformation. Then control click on here and choose that layer. That's a quick way of choosing the layer. I'm just going to make them even. And then I can throw some text in. I'm going to flip this so the foreground is in white. And then I can set my text with the text tool. And I'm just going to make it 36 point. And I'll type before. Oh, what happened there? The type should be in white. Yeah, okay. Before. Now that's strange. Ah, I know why. It's only being applied on one layer. See how it's indented there? I've got to option click on that and allow it to exist on its own layer. There we go. Before, and then I think I can just option drag a copy. No. I'll just drag this down and make a duplicate. Drag that over there. I'm holding the shift key down just so that it stays nice and straight. And then I can double click on here and just type the word after. I'll take a look at my layout. Is that laid out nicely? Ooh. A few things weren't moved correctly. Well, let me just make a manual adjustment there. I'm just going to move the colorization over. Good. This is a good time for me to save this. File, save as. I want to save a Photoshop so that it preserves all the text and all the layers. So I'll save that out there. And then I'll just export a quick PNG onto my desktop, and then I can post that quick PNG up onto the blog. So on that, to post our work in the blog, sorry, I got to look at that again. Where is it? The hills are alive with the sound of music. I can't believe how much that looks like me. Right down to the pot belly. Okay, so we want to submit that to our blog. And I'm going to segue to answer a call from my daughter who's calling in from Banff. Jackie, you're right in the middle of my class and in a podcast all at the same time.
Hey, what up?
Okay. Can I call you back?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for the tea.
Oh, you're welcome. Jackie
Okay.
opens a gift every day for 24 days. Anyway, I'll get back to you.
Okay, bye, love you.
Love you too. Bye. That's my baby. I can't say no to answering that phone. So now we want to submit this to the blog. So if we're looking under the activities for class 10, and we'll notice the blog. If we click it, it will take us directly to assignment bundle 2. Some of you were blogging in the wrong assignment bundle. Make sure you're submitting the work to the assignment bundle 2. Okay? And that concludes the work.